Mindfulness for Resilience with Mary-Jo Fetterly, funded by the Craig H. Nielsen Foundation and brought to you by SCI&U for Healthy Living.
So we've been talking about mindfulness as a pause, kind of like the whole globe pausing right now, but we're doing it in a more intentional way, clearly. We've talked about it as relaxing and becoming present, awakening to your senses. And all of this is really fine and well, but you might be thinking, great, but how do I remember all of this? And how do I do it? And it doesn't really feel like it's working right now. And I think what I want to say for sure is that that's very common. According to the veteran mindfulness experts, Tara Brock and Jack Kornfield, who have really great mindfulness practices as well, which you're welcome to look up. I think they even have a Sounds True channel. In any case, in their research and in their understanding and their experience over 40 years of teaching this, they've noticed that there's this persistent feeling that I'm not good enough, that I can't do it, that I'm not doing it right. And that kind of leads us into this kind of really closed loop again, because the attitude that we really need is the attitude of friendliness, compassion, of curiosity, of intrigue, kind of to be interested, to discover, almost like you're meeting a new friend. And when you meet a new friend, you have patience to kind of let those nuances of how you figure out how to be in relationship together work their way out. And I'm really inviting you to think about mindfulness that way, because if we get into this place where all of us go, and actually the other thing that Tara and Jack Kornfield found is that we are the worst self-critics ever about ourselves. So we may be, reflecting that attitude outside in our world because we are constantly doing it to ourselves. So self-judgment, I'll never get this, I can't get it right. And all of these attitudes are what we call the perfectionism kind of cycle of feeling unworthy and not good enough, inadequate. And so then what happens is your mindfulness becomes this another place in your life where you're beating yourself up. I can't get it. I'm not really good at this. It's not working. And so to really encourage you right now, today in our practice, especially as we're really learning the basics. And the basics are, first of all, becoming aware of your body. And second of all, just becoming aware of your sensations and doing that in this beautiful, loving, kind of open attention of friendliness and compassion. And then the next thing that we do is we become aware of our breathing. And then we start to look at, our states of mind, maybe the states of our body, the different senses. And so as we go, we progress along. And then we start to be able to slide in more mechanisms for being able to shift the nervous system into that beautiful responsive state of the parasympathetic nervous system. So anyways, long story short, today we're going to be going into our practice, and all we're going to think about today is cultivating this attitude of friendliness, of kindness and compassion, just like you would if you were meeting a friend. And I will add in, mindfulness is kind of like training a puppy. So puppies are very sensitive, and if you train them with a hard hand and a tough fist, and you use scolding and disciplinary measures, you're not going to get very far, and that puppy will end up being afraid and frightened and have probably issues as it grows older. But if we approach our mindfulness just like we were training a puppy, here, come on, try this. Good. You're getting it. Great. Okay, try this again. Oh, no, we're going to do this way. Come on. Oh, don't worry about thinking thoughts and, your uncomfort or all the different distractions that the mind will throw in there. Because just like the puppy, it's kind of going to do that for a while until you are able to lead that puppy on a walk and have it follow you along through your practice. So having said all of those things to consider, let's take a moment and allow ourselves to prepare for our mindfulness practice. So take a big breath and just be conscious of your breathing as you allow yourself to settle into a really comfortable sitting position. And as you assume your position of comfort and allow your body to relax, I'll have you close your eyes and allow yourself now to just tune in and just notice everything for a moment. The state of mind, state of your body, and all the myriad of things that are going on. Remembering that our minds are kind of like the weather, they're going to change all the time. So we're just constantly observing right now. Now, allow yourself to take a full breath, filling your lungs, filling the heart center, the chest, and exhaling completely and using that as a cue to relax a little deeper and to become more present. Let's repeat that 2 more times, just allowing your full, rich breath, the vital life force to inhale you, to inspire into your body, and then to release you deeper into the force of gravity, the weight of your body. And now, with that attitude of friendliness, let's go to the space that we occupy on the corners of our eyes. And research shows that a smile, even thinking of a smile, can shift the brain. And so we're going to allow our sense to imagine a smile at the corners of our eyes. Just a beautiful, soft feeling of a smile. Perhaps when you see a good friend or family or even a baby, just feeling that smile at the outer corners of your eyes. Feeling that attitude of friendliness. Allow now your inner landscape to bring the smile to the inside of your mouth. Feeling on the inside of your lips, the feeling of a smile, the sensation of a smile. Being effortless. Notice and allow yourself to feel that smile moving into your cheeks and your face. And as you continue to cultivate that sense of the smile being who and what you are right now, along with everything else, bring a sense of that smile, of how a smile makes you feel, into your heart center. And with your breath, moving in, bringing a smile to the heart center, feeling the tenderness, noticing the compassion. And if you lose yourself in thought, that's okay. Come back again to the corners of your eyes now. And again, feeling the outer corners of your eyes gently smiling. And feel that in your mouth as well. And then again in your heart center. And with your breath, effortlessly moving in and out. Perhaps you can feel that heart center expanding on your inhale into even a more deep smile, a deep sense of that contentment and carefreeness. There's nothing else to do, just observing. And again, with kind, gentle observation, everything that is occurring around and beside The smile is just fine. And we notice it with that same friendly compassion, that beautiful open attention that's non judgmental. And if there is judgment, just notice that. See it as a mechanism of thinking, an attitude that you can either, like the weather, just observe or be blown away by it. But you don't need to be. You can observe it just as it moves, like all of the other occurrences. And as you allow the center of your brow to be soft, the outer corners of your eyes to feel the smile, the inside of your lips to have that gentle grin, the Mona Lisa grin. See if you might be able to bring that whole sense of the smile to your whole being now, moving it into your being with your inhale breath and relaxing deeper into the feeling state on the release of your exhale. Even feel the smile between your cells, this beautiful countenance that the whole body, the whole being can allow to be a big part of the landscape right now, of what you sense and feel. You may notice that as you feel the smile on your face and the inside of your cheeks, softening the corners of your eyes, that feels pretty good. There's really nothing else to do except receiving the goodness of that, whilst you also notice the breath. Notice the feeling in your body with no judgment, just a noticing of the different states of being. And perhaps as you inhale into your heart, bringing that smile into your heart center, you can fully appreciate and accept all of the states of your being right now in a friendly, curious acceptance. Interest, acceptance, and compassion. And this beautiful feeling of warmth may come over you, and allowing that, just as we allow everything else, without judgment. And before long, I'll be bringing the chime in to signal the ending of our practice today. And I would invite you, before you come back into the room and after the chime, to just gently and yet briskly rub your hands together and then gently place them on the eye sockets. Not just yet. As you now feel complete, bring that smile forward into your day, into any uncomfortable place, and see if we can work with allowing that mindfulness to give you more choice and more options. And then slowly coming back into the room and giving yourself an opportunity to just feel how you feel and notice the effects of your practice. And at this point, we will allow any questions and invite them actually. As Sonia said, I think it's really helpful for us to explore this together and really diffuse any troubles, any places of curiosity that you haven't been able to figure out about this, or whatever else may be on your mind regarding our practice today, or even the coaching program that SCI&U and I'm a part of, because it's a wonderful program, and we certainly feel that this practice and the coaching are really the best that we can offer in terms of perhaps giving us options for feeling better all around.
I also have a question.
Yeah, thanks.
I wanted to ask about if you had reflections on empathy, mindfulness and empathy. Like, is there, do you feel a mindful person is an empathetic person, or vice versa?
So, so mindfulness is definitely a practice where you build empathy. And a lot of the research, some of the particular stuff, I can't quote exactly, but I could put a link up, has shown that empathy actually, and the the different qualities of higher intelligence, meaning the part of our brain that isn't just doing the processing of the sensory body, which is predominantly the neocortex, and the prefrontal lobe is called the forebrain, and that brain in some cases is referred to as the angel brain. And that's because over time, when you do meditation and mindfulness things, or perhaps you're a therapist or whatever you might be, anyway, developing that part of your brain is actually what happens when you're practicing these types of things, is that development of that part of your brain. So it not to say that it's not there before, but like certain areas of the brain, like the speech center, you don't learn a language until you practice it. So like mindfulness is similar to that in that way. So I hope that answers the question on empathy. Yes, it does develop and help to cultivate it. And empathy is a really important thing, not only self-empathy, as I said earlier, because a lot of what the research shows in terms of why these practices are difficult, and just in other research, is that we are our own worst critic, and perfectionism can get in the way of mindfulness too, until we see that, oh, that self-critic or that judge or that part of my brain that's constantly, telling me I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to get this, is actually a part of the brain that we can identify and not identify with. That's the idea. Empathy comes when you see that part of yourself and you go, oh, you got trained by the bad dog master. You are constantly afraid, or you think everything you do is wrong. So there's a long answer to empathy. Any other questions? The other thing too, if you get used to using the YouTube channel to say, do that little practice that we did today, which we're gonna probably just cut out all the other stuff eventually and have those as, okay, this is mindful basics, learning, self-compassion. Then there'll be another one learning about the breath. There'll be another one learning about, how to cultivate presence, how to work with your sensory body, how to deal with difficult emotions or difficult states like pain or anger. So I'm going to lay out a progression for us, and all of those YouTube snippets will be thumbnailed with the description or a title of that particular piece of the mindfulness practice that you could work on that day. So over time, you'll develop all of these different skills, maybe concurrently at this point, and then eventually you can, you can mix and match. So today I need to work on my breath. I feel like my breath is really jagged, and I'm anxious, and I got to go do a speech, or I got to talk to my banker, or I'm going to have a difficult conversation, or I got to focus on an exam or something. So then you would have a specific practice to really help you in that particular component or element of mindfulness. On the YouTube channel, you can also ask questions. You can go into the chat there. And if you're a subscribed person, I think, maybe even if you just look at it, you can then post a question up there, which we will get to. I appreciate you being here, and I am so really delighted that you're, even willing to look at mindfulness, because I know how helpful it's been for me, and I can't imagine a better thing to help us navigate through these times. So I hope you stay well and take care of yourself and be kind to each other and to yourself especially.